his only child? There's a is there a second
Yes.
one? Is there a stepson or something? It looks like there might be another stepson or maybe even
That's my son. Yes.
oh, it's your son. Oh, you have a son too.
Yes, it's my son.
Oh,
It's
okay.
my son who passed away. He's talking about his stepson, which is my son who
Oh,
passed away.
oh, okay. Seeing a boy there. Okay, very good. From you. He knows how much you love him. And it's almost like he's so he doesn't want your heart to break. It's almost like your heart already broke or it's breaking and he doesn't want you to be that way because where he's at right now, even though he didn't want to leave the way that he did, um he's saying to you he can help you more from the other side. And he really wants you to understand that he is always going to be helping you. He has no intention of leaving you, even though his body left. He didn't want the body to go the way it did, but it did. But he's not leaving you, and he sees like your heart, how much you're holding so much sadness and brokenheartedness over him leaving, and he doesn't want you to feel that way because he's saying, "I'm not really gone." It just seems that way to you. Know that he didn't even know some of the things that he knows now in the spirit world, and now that he's there he sees things differently, and so he's like, oh, wait a second, so he's just he really wants you to know how much he loves you. And then he says, I've left you some gifts. He's left you messages. He's talked in your ear. He's left something, I think, on your dresser or maybe a feather or something, but he's saying, I have reached out to you a few times. Maybe you saw a sign and maybe you weren't paying attention, or maybe you thought maybe that was my dad, but you weren't sure. He's saying for sure that he has reached out to you several times. Do you know what he's talking about?
No, but I swear I did see him once, but I don't know. I don't know. It was weird.
You
I
know,
don't
he
know.
says, you know. He says, yes, you do know, because he tried several times. And he says he's going to keep trying, so you're going to see that he's not gone. He wants you really to understand that, and he wants you to watch for the signs because he's going to leave him. And he said it like, I'm going to leave him. I don't know if that's how he talks, but that's the way he came through. I'm going to leave him.
We'll say it.
And he's also worried, he says, that you have the tendency to want to hurt yourself. Is that true? You try to hurt yourself? He doesn't like that. He does not like that. He's very, very concerned about that. And he says to you, when you hurt him to you, you're going to see him again. Please don't think that this is the end, because it's not. And he says, I love you. I love you. Please don't hurt yourself. That's what he's saying to you. Please don't do that. He made some mistakes in his parenting. He says that he made a lot of mistakes, even in the relationship, and he's sorry for that. Um, he was just a human like everybody else trying to figure life out. And he says that he wasn't the best parent. I don't know exactly what he was talking about. Do you?
I mean, sometimes he would get angry at me, but
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think he
he
feels
didn't
like
hit me at all or anything.
I think he regrets that, though. I think he regrets not having more patience with you. That now he sees he should have been more patient. He should have appreciated things more because he didn't know that his time was so limited. But he wants to make that up to you. He wants to make it all up to you if you'll trust him. Pressured, it feels like he had a lot of stress and pressure. Is that true?
Yes.
Did he have like some
Yes.
financial stresses and stuff?
Yes, absolutely. He was mental stresses, but not really when he passed away. You know, he worked a lot, and I think probably he's probably has a lot of guilt about that
That's what he's
because,
telling
you
me.
know,
That's
he was always trying to make yes, give
That's
Olivia a
exactly
good
what he's
life and
telling me.
everything.
That's exactly what he's saying
Yes,
to me
yes,
right now, is that the finances always stressed him out too much, and it interfered sometimes with his relationship with you, with the way that he raised her, that he just didn't handle the stress as well as he wished he could have. He does have regret and guilt over that, but he also knows that at the time he was trying the best that he knew how in that moment. And also, again, now that he's where he's at, he can see that he has forever to love you more. And that's what he wants you to know is he has forever to love you more. Where you think it's the end, he's saying it's the beginning. And that's the way he sees it from where he's at now. Give me just a moment, okay? Did you guys like used to have her in the bathtub and you guys would put like little bath toys in there and she would play in the bathtub with
Yes,
the bath toys?
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. She loved the tub. She lived in the tub so much, and she had to have all her
Ah,
little figures and line them up in there. And
he's showing me that so she knows it's him because he says she wasn't sure, but he's showing me that so she knows that it's him. You see?
well, he said, before we came on here, she was like, "I'm going to ask something that only my dad would know." And here he did it on it. So he knew that he was
Awesome.
doubting and being skeptical.
That's funny. Okay. He wanted to make sure you know it's him, okay? Says that you're a very smart person. You're also an analytical person. Is that true? You kind of tend to think really deeply. Is that true? Yeah, you're like a way
Yeah,
deep thinker. That's what he's saying.
yeah,
And
yes.
he this is what he loves the most about you is that you are a deep soul. Okay. It's okay to smile to Olivia. It's funner, you see. And he's kind of joking because he's saying to you that he's showing me something. I'm not exactly sure what I'm seeing here. It's almost like it's a lime green color. She also have a little small kind of a plasticky little trike thing that you guys rode around with outside that she would ride around with outside and he would go out with her while she was riding?
Yes,
Like a little
yes, she
trike?
had. Yes.
Because I see her on a trike out there kind of riding around and I see him kind of following her around and she must have been maybe 2 or 3 years old or something, pretty small. See him chasing her around on a trike and it's almost like he was showing me how he was teaching her how to ride it when she was small and it's one of his favorite memories also. He says that he
Oh,
has a lot of favorite memories of her, but this is one of them and he
I
cherishes this.
used to come home from work and take her for walks after dinner. That every night he would take her for a walk
Oh.
around the block. And
The way he's showing me his heart's so warm from that. It's like that was his favorite thing to do. That's what made him tick. That's what he went to work for. That's the stuff he thought about when he was at work was her and how cute she was and how he just loved to be able to be there for her. And he's emotional about it right now. Like I feel him getting teary-eyed about it because in his way of doing things everything he did was for that. Everything he did was for those moments with her. And even though he's saying, even though I wasn't perfect, and he's kind of beating himself up about things that he could have done better, he he lived and breathed for those moments. And where he's at now, that's what he cherishes. But he's also saying that he cherishes everything about her, that he watches what she's going through in life. He's supporting it and he cherishes everything about her. Because he says you're not a girly girl. Like are you a real girl? You're not a real girly girl
I
kind
don't
of
need
girl.
I can't believe he knows that. No, she is not a girly girl at all.
That's funny. So he laughed a little because he's like, she's not going to understand why I'm giving this to her, but there's a symbol there. Okay. So you can meditate on that on your own and see what that means to you. So or sometimes they'll tell me things or show me where they hid things or they'll even tell me passwords. And so I just translate energy and then it's up to you to kind of see what that means to you. But he kind of laughed a little because he's like, well, she's not a girly girl. She's going to be a little weirded out that I gave her this, but you can meditate on what that means to you, okay? You have a grandma? Do you have a grandma that's still alive, Olivia?
Yeah.
Is she not the nicest person on earth?
His mom's in Florida. and he didn't speak to his mom from like so she just she was a tough one, that's all, and they were estranged for a while.
Mhm.
And Olivia doesn't, they talk on holiday or whatever, but she doesn't feel comfortable with his mom. And she
Oh,
lives in Florida and we live in Pennsylvania, so we're far away from each other.
okay. Well, I can only go off the way that he shows me. And it was kind of like I could see that the way he perceives his mom is that maybe she's a little bitter or something, a little crabby. Yeah? Is
Yes,
that right?
yes, that's Barb. Yes, that's his
Okay, okay,
mom.
okay. I don't know what he's trying to say. Let me go back to him now and see why he's showing me this.
Okay.
You did. Okay. I I never know what I'm seeing. I just tell you what I'm seeing, and I'm like, I'm almost afraid to say it because I'm like, I don't know. There's a grumpy grandma over there. You know? But but thank you for confirming it because I would have felt really bad if I was wrong.
No, no, then that's two things. She definitely knows that's him now. She definitely knows.
Like, are you into goth kind of stuff? Are you into the goth scene? You're
No.
not? What is it?
Goth?
Yeah, like goth or emo or something like that. Is that her
Yeah.
is she?
She wears mostly all black. She's very dark. She's always, her room's dark. She's a dark child,
He was
yes.
showing me her room. He was showing me the way her room is decorated. I think, do you also?
The hot pink
Oh, is
fuchsia
that what it
kind of
is?
color.
Okay. Is it fuchsia?
Yes.
Okay, because I see him taking me in her room and he's like showing me how she decorates in goth and all these things, you know. And honestly, I think he loves this about you because he loves that again, you're a deep person and you some people sit and go, I'm so sweet. See how sweet I am? And really they're like assholes inside. And you're like, screw it, I'm dark, own it, you
Yeah.
know? And he loves that about you because he says that inside you're actually sweeter than you ever want anybody to know you are, right? Like he knows though. He knows your
Oh,
heart. Not to
Daddy
say
knows.
that you're soft or anything like that, but just he knows that you have a beautiful big heart and at the same time you're too smart for this world is the way he's saying it. It's almost like he thinks you're too smart for this world in a way, and you're kind of an empathic person even though I don't think that you like that about yourself. Do you agree with what he's saying? I'm just repeating what he's showing me, so don't get mad at me.
I agree with what he's saying, where but she wouldn't want anybody to know that she cares. She tries to act like she's shut down and a
But for me, he's just, again, I don't know. Sometimes they are just showing me things so that I can tell you so that you know it's them. I don't think there's specifically a message about your room. I think he's just showing me you so you know it's him again, okay? And I'll ask him though if there's anything specific that he wants me to say about that. Hold on. Do you like to write little letters or poems or something? Do you write? Are you a write? Do you write things or journal or something that you keep to yourself?
No.
Do you write like no poems or nothing like that?
No.
she did write him a few little things after he passed
Oh
away, and
yeah.
they're upstairs actually in a frame to him. There was two letters that she wrote to him when he passed away.
Oh,
They're upstairs on the bureau in frames.
okay. Okay, maybe that's what he's trying to show me because it was almost like he takes me in there and then it was almost like he was showing me that she was writing, she was expressing herself through writing somehow. And maybe that
Yeah.
was the letters to him. But
Yes.
I feel almost like I think that he thinks that she should write more, or she should express. It's almost like I feel like he's saying that that's something that would help her, or that would help her feel better, or it would help her express herself in some ways. I'm just translating. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what I feel he's saying to you. So, but yeah, I could see how that's probably the letters that she wrote to him. And again, he's just showing me stuff, okay? thank you for trusting me. I appreciate it. And he's thanking you for trusting me because he really wanted to be able to get through to you. And even though it was hard for you to get here and to get on the camera and stuff, he's really, really, really saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then he was funny. Was he kind of a character sometimes? He would like, was he kind of
Yes,
funny
yes,
sometimes?
oh,
Because he did that
yes.
again. He's like, no, really, thank you. And then he made this funny face, like, he's like, is that his character? Uh-huh.
You would definitely do that.
I can see it. Uh-huh.
I'm over here crying a little bit
Totally
because he
funny.
knows
Totally
that.
funny. Totally funny. His whole head shook, and I could see his hair and
Trying to
everything
make
shaking.
everybody laugh.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, that's more like it. He's seeing your heart smiling. He's seen both of you guys smiling, and he's like, yeah, that's more like it. Yes. Funny, funny. And he's loving seeing both of you guys smiling right now. And he's thanking you, Tina, also for orchestrating this meeting. He really gives you honor here and thanks you for that because he couldn't have got through either otherwise to both of you,
Oh,
really.
absolutely.
And he wants you to know that he's always loved you, no matter what you guys' problems were. And it doesn't, not in a romantic way necessarily. He's talking like love from his heart for who you are. He loves you as a person. He loves that you're there for his daughter, and he
Yeah.
loved you. And you know, he's got your back. That's the way he's saying it. Okay, he's got your back. He's got your back. He's got your son too, and he thanks you for taking care of his daughter. He thanks you for everything you've done, all the things that he never said to you, all the little things that he never appreciated before. He sees and he appreciates all of it. I'm like I got tears coming out of my eyes because I can feel, you know.
So it's
He
nice to hear now.
he's telling you right now that it was never you, it was him. Like he just didn't know how to work through stuff, he and also he's taking accountability for it, but he's also kind of showing me all these little things that you used to do, all the little things that you would clean the house and you would take care of things and you would pick flowers and you would do all these little things, and he just never gave you credit for it, because he was caught in his own bullshit is the way he's putting it. He was caught in his own bullshit. Then he blames his mom for a minute, and then he laughs a little. He laughs a little. He's like, just kidding. He can't blame her entirely, but in his mind, the way that he was when he was on Earth, that was kind of where he was stuck, and so he just didn't get unstuck. He was too caught in the wheel, is the way, like the way you decorated this and the way you did this for the birthday, the way you did this, and it's just like,
Yes,
okay,
yes. I can't
he
believe
never
he's talking about this.
he never not noticed. Okay, he noticed it. He tried to tap into your son too. We haven't really
Yeah.
had that much time because I think this was more needed for her and for you, maybe more than we realized. And let me just see if I can try to make a quick connection, but maybe we can do another one later and really focus on your son now. But I'm going to see if I can get there, okay?
Yes.
And did his heart kind of explode?
I I don't know. He overdosed on heroin, and fentanyl was in it. And by the time I got to him, his lips were blue. He had blood running out his nose, and I called the ambulance. They worked on him, but they could not get him back. So
I feel like that's what happened. Pop, 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 pop. Like the heart just kind of couldn't handle it, and it exploded. Um, that's what he's saying to you. I'm sorry, Mom. Did we make a short connection with him before?
No, no.
He's really kicking himself. He really feels bad that he let you down. You were trying to get him straight, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, he was. I made him go into rehab. He was in rehab for 21 days and 6 months in a halfway house. And he was in the middle of doing medical billing, and he only had a month and a half left. They only gave him 6 months to have off. He had to come back home and finish the month and a half. He was home for 5 weeks, used and died because he was clean for over 6 months. And when he used for the first time, it killed him.
It killed him because his heart, he wasn't, I know this happens a lot, especially with heroin users. They think they can do the dose they did before and they do it and poof, that's what happened.
Yes,
And he's so
yes.
sorry because the way he's showing it to me is like, man, he was trying so hard to get straight. He knows that you were
What?
fighting for him, you were working for him, and he let you down.
He didn't let me down, but I thought he had it. I thought he had it. I thought
He,
it was good.
and then he kind of made a little comment like two steps forward, one step back, and this time that step backward got him.
Yes.
And he thanks you so much, though, for being there for him. He thanks you so much for trying to help him get through that. He says in the long run that, this had to be his soul had to go through this too. It's part of his own soul journey, and his soul's eternal also. And he can either choose to incarnate again and continue to grow. He can go through a lot of things too in his own soul journey, but that his soul decided that it was time to go, and that it and now his human self didn't know that, but his soul did, if that makes sense.
Yes.
um from his human self, though, he's just so sorry because he really feels like he let you down, and he's really showing me how hard you tried, how much you cared, and how much you were trying so hard to get him straight.
Yes, I was trying really hard to get him straight because he had overdosed twice and almost died 2 times, and I didn't want him to die.
And he's looking at Olivia and he's saying, don't go down this road. He's kind of doing the brotherly advice here. Don't go down this road. Hold on. Ooh, he wants to give you a present, Mom. And this is so beautiful. You're gonna have to do a little research on what this means to you, because I don't know why he's giving you this specifically, but I can tell you that it's this humongous moth with bright blue and green colors all over the wings. Maybe it's a butterfly, but it looks like, and he's giving it to you, and it's about this big. So he's like giving that to you. I don't know what that means. You can meditate on that. You can research it on Google. I don't know if it's a moth or a butterfly, but it's huge and it has these spots all over the wings that are colored.
Okay.
And then it's almost like he's saying, I'm gonna do better now, Mom. Like he's got a future that's gonna happen in time somewhere. And he says that his biggest regret is how he let you down. Like he just he's just so disappointed in himself for that because of how it hurt you. And he's sorry, Olivia, also, because you shouldn't have had to see that happen. He hurt you too. He should have been better. That's the way he feels. He's really beating himself up. So let me just talk to him for a moment, okay?
Okay.
He said in the bright side, he's not in pain anymore. And he kind of says it like in a joking way, like, he's out of his pain, but in a way it's a crux because he caused you pain. So he can't even be that excited about it, but um there was a girl in his life, was there? Did he have a girl that he was dating that hurt him?
No, my son was gay.
Was he gay? Oh, well, maybe
Uh,
it was a different kind of a girl. Maybe it was
yeah.
a lover. But I feel like there was somebody that hurt him. Do you know about that?
Wasn't it
Uh,
the girl that gave him drugs? Is that what he's talking about?
Oh,
it could have been,
it could
I
have
don't know, it
been.
could have been
It could have
the
been
person
that. It could have been
that,
that. I feel like that was probably more what he's trying to show me. So a girl gave him drugs then. Uh,
you know, wherever he could get them. But, uh,
Didn't she leave him in
but
a
she
hole
was a
or something?
negative character though, and she was a negative character that was in his world, and she had a part to do with this, is what it is.
yes,
Okay. And I feel like he's saying it's not that he entirely blames her, because he's going to own his own mistakes, but it's certainly she shouldn't have been in his life, is the way he's putting it. I see him coming over and wanting to give you a hug. You can allow yourself to connect to him energetically. I see him hugging you. I love you so much,
he,
Mom. That's what he's saying. I love you so much.
he had the best hugs. He used to have the best hugs.
He says, I still do if you'll feel me. I see him not wanting to let you go. Like he's wrapping his arms around you. I feel like he doesn't want to let you go. I'm always going to be here for you, Mom. And then I see him wanting to give you flowers, like he's handing a bouquet of flowers to you.
He's the only one. He's the only man in my life that would always bring me flowers just because.
Oh. I see it like a whole bouquet, and I see him kind of multicolored. That's the way they came through. Didn't know himself. That's what he's saying. He just didn't yet know himself. He was really struggling with his identity. He he had some wounding that he hadn't worked through. I think he struggled with his sexuality a lot. I think he struggled with trying to figure out who he was in the world. And
Yes,
he had a lot of he had a hard time loving himself.
yes, he
And
did. He would love everybody else, but he
that's what
had
I
a
was
hard
just
time
gonna
loving.
say. I could see that he loved everyone, but he couldn't figure out how to love himself.
Yes, yes,
And that was his biggest problem, and that was why he kept getting into trouble, is he just couldn't figure out how to give himself the kind of love that he had for other people. And I
yes,
feel like also that he's saying if he could have just gotten through a few more years, he probably would have been able to straighten out. He's also telling me that he too was a star seed, and he's telling me that he came from a specific star system and that he had a very difficult time on Earth. He's saying that your daughter is a lot of struggles, and he's reminding me to tell you too that sometimes that's also the role of the star seed, to come in and to bring that light into the world and then to leave. Okay. And he wants to remind you that you will see him again. Don't forget that this isn't forever here. This is just a bleep, quick little moment in time. You know this, Mom. He says, you know this,
yes,
Mom.
yes.
And he says he wants to plant flowers everywhere for you. And then it's like I see flowers all over the yard, all over. Like he wants to give you flowers for eternity, is the way that he's saying it. And then he went over to Olivia and he kind of picked on her a little bit. He tickled your ear a little bit. And then But then he couldn't help himself and he gave you a kiss on the forehead. Don't get mad at him, he said, because I don't think you're mushy and he knows that, but he was going to give you one anyways. Is that true? That's the way he's putting it. He picked on
Yes,
you
yes, that's
first.
true.
He picked on
That's
her
true.
first, and then he was like, but I love you, you know? I think for now, if it's okay with you guys, we're gonna end the channeling at this moment.